Record. Here we go. Start over. Welcome again. No. So in opening a new month, we want to make sure that we are celebrating all of our victories, as well as consoling all of the defeats. And what that means is that some people, and it's funny because I'll get texts from people as I'm reaching out to people and saying, hey, is there anything I could do to help you? Is there anybody I can talk to? Who do we have that's close and all that? And then people will, start going, well, and then they'll get that, people aren't responding or whatever stuff happens, right? And this is the beautiful part. That happens to everybody. So whether you're brand new, whether you've been doing this for a long time or whatever, it happens. And it's just something that you have to deal with. And it's funny because, in 20 plus years in being in this industry, one of the things that I've recognized is that, when you're winning and you're talking about what you're doing, that, we're doing this, we're doing that, and we're winning. Like if you want people to hate you, go out there and win. I'm just telling you, right? Because life is kind of like that bucket of crabs. Like if you ever watch a bucket of crabs and the one crab's trying to get out of the bucket and all the other crabs are holding on to the crab's legs and whatever, and he's pulling, they're all pulling him back into the bucket. So if you want love, fail. If you want people to, and I'll give you an example. Go on Facebook and go post something like your dog got hit by a car or something like that, and you will get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people going, oh, isn't that terrible? Oh, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 and all that stuff. Yet if you go and say, oh my gosh, I just had the most amazing month ever, like I cannot believe this is life-changing, you'll get like 3 likes, right? You'll only get people from the business that are going to love on your post. You're not going to have the masses going out there loving on your post when you're talking about winning. So the thing is that, we need to be able to communicate with people in a way where, one, they're not going to hate on you, yet also pour life into them and help them to recognize that it's possible, right? So, it's funny, just pay attention to that. So if you're putting all your stuff on there as you're winning, that's great. But guess what? You're creating a lot of haters because that's what people do. They hate. So, and I'm not telling you not to do that. But what people love is to hear your struggles. What people want to know, like when you share the fact that you're winning, the better way to go about doing it is to share the challenges you went through to win. So like if you go onto a Facebook Live and you're like, oh my gosh, I am an intergalactic rankopotamus, whatever the rank is, it doesn't matter. And I am amazing and I'm this. I know that's the rankopotamus. What the hell is that? But basically like, no, and I'm saying this because you guys, if you're posting stuff about rank and all that, no one outside the company has any idea what that means, right? Like nobody knows what a rank is. So when you're talking to people, we need to talk what is to them English, right? But we start in these businesses and we start using weird language, right? We start talking, code. Upline, downline, sideline, whatever. Nobody knows what in the world that is. Don't ever say it. Don't say, hey, let me get you on the phone, my upline. Guys, I don't ever use that. I'm talking about teammates, people I work with, mentors. That's how I talk about people. Success partners, success coaches. Hey, let me introduce you to a good friend of mine that, boom, not let me introduce you to a diamond dabber, whatever. Like people don't know what that stuff is. So we want to be normal. So this is the funny part about it. And when you read books and you read books on success, the most incredible ones are all where you read about what they went through to get where they are. Because this thing called life that we're in, you're going to have these things that are called ups, and you're going to have these things that are called downs. And what you have to recognize is that everything goes in cycles, right? So when you hear people talk about the 90-day run, which don't say that language to new people, like, well, I'm on a 90-day run and I need it. Weird, right? Don't use any code language or any language we use in the business to outside people. Like if I'm doing a Facebook Live or I'm doing a whatever, my language is going to be such that it's going to attract people that aren't in the industry. Because most people that are in the industry, if they're unhappy and they see your live, they know what you're talking about and they're going to reach out. So you don't have to use network marketing language on that live because you're pushing away all the other people that have no idea what they're talking about. And the reality of it is that we don't need to be focusing in on people that are already in network marketing. Guys, we have the most simplistic business that has the most reach out of any company I've ever seen. And I'm going to tell you, like when I had a coach, which, look, I'll hire coaches periodically because every major athlete has a coach. Now, I'm not telling you to go hire a coach because you have coaches within this organization where you don't have to go pay somebody. And I see some of them commenting in here, amazing mentors that are here. So you don't need to go hire anybody. But when I had a coach in the network marketing world, it was somebody that, in the company I was in, I built a relationship with this guy and I wanted to coach with him because I resonated with him. And one of the things that he taught me is he said the biggest skill that you can learn on top of people skills and all that and organization, all that, is the skill to be able to recognize opportunity, what causes a model to go up, what causes a model to go down, what drives behaviors. And because what you have to realize, and this company, by the way, has defied the law of complicating drive behaviors. Because as we've, transitioned over the years, we still had a model that grew and all that based on our culture. And that's not normal. And what we knew as a core group of leaders, many of the leaders that got together, I saw Shanna commenting on here and all that. But basically we were talking, a bunch of us, on what we didn't like about the industry and what we loved about the industry and what would make the perfect company and what does that look like and what would it feel like and all that other stuff, right? And I'm sharing this because, look guys, there's a lot of shiny objects out there in life. And what happens is when, and I'm going to tie this in to console and defeats and victories and all that stuff, what I started with, because you're like, where'd you go there? This is the thing. People always want to find reasons on why they're not winning the way they want to. And 99% of the time, the one thing that they won't do is look in that thing, the mirror. Because they want to blame other people or other circumstances or other things on why they are where they are. So what happens is, and unfortunately in this, and I'm sharing this because guys, you need to resonate with the masses, because look, if you seduce somebody to leave their company and talk them into coming over here, because things are better, it's a matter of time before they leave in you and go into something else and go into something else and go into something else and go into something else. So guys, the best thing is to have language that's going to resonate with everybody, where you can take the average person, the single mom, the stay-at-home mom, the bus boy, the bus driver, and teach them a model, teach them a system, and you develop leaders. You create leaders. And you create a family, because people won't leave a family, but they will leave a business. So with that being said, in the beginning of the month, one of the things that we will do is we will celebrate our victories, and then we console our defeats. So that's what we're doing right now, by the way, guys. We're consoling the defeats. If you're not where you want to be, you need to basically look in the mirror and say, did I do everything that I could to close out the month? How was my attitude? How was my mindset? Because thoughts are things. And many times we will think basically that, well, this month's not going to end well, or this or what. Guys, thoughts are things. The reason why, last few weeks we've been talking about affirmations and reprogramming the subconscious mind is because it doesn't know what's real and what's not real. It only knows what you tell it. So if you're telling it, I'm a winner, I'm the leader people are looking for today, I will, add great value to someone's life, knowing that is to help others achieve their dreams, all my dreams come true, right? So we want to console our defeats and help people recognize what their thought process was. Guys, it's the craziest thing, and doing this as long as, we've gone in every company, 20 years, guys, my first company I was with for 11 years. My second company I was with for 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And then the company went down. I didn't leave the company left me. And then basically my third company, 2 years. And that's when I found this company, because I did not resonate with where I was. And what I resonated with was the leadership in this company. I resonated with the people. I resonated with the mission, the vision, and what is that vision? And guys, if you could be really clear about this and you can visualize, I am going to create, $500 and $1,000 income earners consistently. That's what I do. That's who I am. Then you're going to end up making an amazing income, because that's all you have to do is become a bronze factory. So when I had the coach, back to that, he said, what you need to be able to recognize is what drives a model. And over the last 20 years, I'm telling you, I've been called, approached, I've been offered organizations, I've been offered all this stuff, because guys, when you hit a certain level in the industry, and what you need to know is there's a story behind the story for many people. And what will happen is that, people will try to seduce leaders into coming over here, and we'll give you this and we'll give you that. I've never taken a deal, ever. And when I went to the last company prior to here, I could have used it. And I chose, I follow my intuition. I believe, my spirit told me that that was where I was supposed to be. And then I could not understand why. And guys, sometimes you have to go through things to be ready for the next thing. So sometimes the things that you're going through, the things that you're not happy about right now, setbacks are setups for comebacks. If I hadn't gone through what I went through, I would not have stepped into the role that I did here. So everything happens for a reason. It's funny, I have conversations with many, many leaders in the organization, and, Ricky and I talk multiple times a day. And one of the things that, we will talk about all of the things, the growth that we've gone through, the challenges that we've been through, and all of the different, the things. And the beautiful part about it is, without pressure, pressure is what creates a diamond, right? Pressure or force or resistance is what builds muscles. When I go to the gym, I literally am cursing my trainer in my mind the whole time. Like, really don't like him. Really like the guy, but I don't like him because he makes me do stuff I don't want to do, because I think that weights need to be picked up with a forklift or something, not with my hands. But the thing is that I wish I could just go there and watch everybody else work out and get in shape. It does not work like that. In order to basically build muscle, you must go through resistance. And many times we want to avoid resistance. People are like water. They go to the easiest path of no resistance. So back to what I was sharing, guys, everybody, if people are talking about, oh, you don't have to do anything and you have to whatever, and come here, we'll build your team, we'll do this, we'll do that. It's not real. Because why in the world do they need you if they're going to do everything for you? First off, why would whatever? So what my mentor told me is he said, you have to understand and how to look at opportunity. So I want to talk about that real quick because, guys, you have to understand where you are. Like we have a product that now with the peach tea, we have a product that hits 100% of the population. 100%. So what do you mean? Skincare, mainly girls. I mean, let's face it, mainly girls. You're talking like dudes. Most dudes aren't going to be slinging skincare, right? Like then you have some, companies that are doing energy and legal services and, all these different things. And when you become a professional in the game is when you understand what drives a mile and what's not. And the reason why I wanted to share, when people have offered all these things, I've acquired the skill set to be able to look at something and not only say that it's not going to work, but understand why it's not going to work. So let's go over why this company is so amazing. Number one, I see people going, we do have serum and all this other cool stuff. We do have skincare and all that stuff, right? I think we do in the back office somewhere. I don't even look at this stuff. I just talk about coffee and tea and happy pills and all that stuff. So point being is that when we saw this company, Mark was saying, I'm telling you, we have something special. So why? High impact product. Most people feel instant gratification. You have something that, if somebody's on this product for 30 days, they're going to get it. They're going to feel it. Number two, low price point. When I don't care what it is, if people are spending more than what, by the way, we're not selling coffee and we're not selling tea and we're not selling a pill. We're selling what it does. We're selling the benefits. The coffee, the tea, the pill are carriers of the benefits. The beautiful part that it is coffee and tea brings up a very simple, easy conversation to where the average person that has no skill set, so this is number three. So one, instant gratification. Two, price point. We have an affordable product that people will buy even if there wasn't an opportunity behind it. So important. And that's why we're one of very few companies in the world that have a 10-to-1 customer over promoter ratio. So just so you know. Number three, can people do it without extensive training? Guys, that is so important. And when I got started in the industry, I was a horseshoer. I started selling freaking insurance in a way, like a legal insurance. Freaking insurance for lawyers. Like at 20-some years old, talking to my friends about, it's crazy, right? And it wasn't something that people wanted to talk about, like at all. And the thing was, I had to get a skill set. I had to learn all this stuff. So when I saw this, when Ricky saw this, when Shanna saw this, when Mark saw this, when Lisa saw this, when Melissa saw, when all these people saw this and they saw it was coffee. People are drinking coffee. Whether we had the tea or not, hey, it's great that we do now, but people are already drinking coffee. So basically you have something that you can literally, and if people can't do what you did 5 minutes after you did it, you did too much. You talked too much. So what does that look like? Guys, on the opportunity Zooms that we do, we literally do the training there for the most part. It's like, oh my gosh, do you know anybody drinks coffee? Have you heard about the happy coffee? A couple questions, and I go over them all the time because you need to know this stuff. And if you're not having success, you're not doing them. 1, do you know anybody drinks coffee or tea? 2, do you know anybody likes to be happy? 3, have you heard about the happy coffee that everyone's talking about? Have you heard about the happy tea that everyone's been talking about? Have you heard about the happy pill everyone's been talking about? Doesn't matter, guys. You can say one of those things. People are going to go, what? What is that? Boom, your story. How do you share your story? Oh my gosh, prior to starting to drink this coffee, this is where I was. Tired, no focus. Wherever you were, share the challenges. And then boom, since I've been drinking the coffee, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. Quick, boom, boom, boom. So guys, so this is the thing. People think there's 4 things that people are like trying to figure out, like when you start talking to them. Number 1, can I trust you? So you can only build to the speed of your trust. Number 2, are you interesting? Well, what does that mean? If you're boring the hell out of them when you're talking to them, like they don't want to hear what you're saying, right? Like you can't bore them to death. So 3, do I want to do what this person does or not? Can I do what this person does or not? And then they will go, I want info on this. So the funny part about the way that people think is they make the decision, then they're open to look. You get that? They make a decision, and then they want to look. So in other words, based on the way that you talk to them is going to decide if they make a decision on if they want to find out more information or not. So you have to give a compelling reason. So why do we say the things that we say? Have you heard about the happy coffee everyone's talking about? Social proof, subconscious trigger that causes them the question to ask information. Now your job is to share the story in an interesting way, in a trustworthy way. Never embellish the truth. Never say it did stuff that it didn't do. It, walking on water, glows in the dark, all that stuff. Like, guys, the truth is good enough. And in kinesiology, the book Power versus Force talks about it, where basically someone tells the story, and the person that's hearing the story is hooked up to a monitor that's measuring the resistance, and the person that's listening has no idea if they're telling the truth or not. But it's amazing, whenever the person starts to embellish or lie, the resistance in the person listening that has no idea if it's true or not, the resistance goes up. So what that means is don't lie, because they know it anyway. Like, how many of you all have kids and your kid tells a lie and it sounds truthful, but you just know this little sucker's lying to you, right? Well, the thing is that people know when you're lying, whether, even if they don't know that they know. Subconsciously, their spirit will tell them, because the resistance in their body, we're all made up of energy. And we're putting out energy it doesn't need to be. The truth is good enough. And if you have to embellish your own story, tell somebody else's story. Oh my gosh, this is what it did for me, even if it's a little thing. But a friend of mine, boom, and you share the benefits. So so share your story, share a tool, sample, website, Facebook group, whatever you're using there, and then boom, use the Zooms, a 3-way chat, or whatever. So story. And we have groups in the team. Like, this is the problem with you superstars, you rock star, you studs that can just sign people up left and right, and that's awesome. But your business, sometimes you have to slow down to speed up, and this is why. If you could sign everybody up and everybody just signs up, the problem is that you have a skill set. It's not a problem, but the thing is that not everybody can do what you did. So guys, this is a dating process. So like some of you all are married, and I'm sure you didn't get married on the first date, like you dated, and you dated, and you dated, and you dated, and then you got married, right? Well, the same thing is true with prospects. So guys, what you want to be doing, and it doesn't have to be you, like when I'm saying use somebody else, I mean, you could be using Facebook stories and connecting them like, oh my God, you got to check out this one, check out this one, check out this one. But it's a dating process where they see it over and over and over and over and over, and then boom, and then they can do that. So you got to keep it so simple that anybody can do what you did. So ask the questions, share a story, link them into a Facebook group, or connect them with somebody else. I do whatever I feel at the time makes sense. I might be to where I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to hear my friend's story. And I might call them right then on the phone and call somebody and let them, if I'm with them, and let them hear that story right when I'm with them, right? Because if we're together on the boat or something like that, I'm not going to put them in a Facebook group right there and wait. I can get somebody on the phone right then and there and just let them, oh my gosh, you got to hear my buddy's story. I was in the hot tub with a friend of mine. He was a Marine. I call up Gavin. Boom, I'm like, Gavin. I let Gavin do all the talking. I shut up because I'm friends with him. So on last week, I had a girl that she was right close to rank, and she was like $150 away. And she's like, I'm just, nobody's buying. Like everybody's saying they want to, whatever. And I'm like, well, you haven't connected us to anybody. So, and she's like, well, but I just feel so uncomfortable doing a three-way call. I'm like, guys, we have Messenger. Go into Messenger and say, hey, Chris, this is Mary. Mary had a question about such and such, blah, blah, blah. And say a voice message. And then I go in there and I answer a question, whatever. And it was a medical question. So instead of me, I just said, look, what I do know is that many people with that same thing have had major results. But for me to tell you exactly what it was would be not necessarily the truth. Hey, you're already in this Facebook group. Go do a search for whatever their deal was. They did it. Boom. Within 30 minutes, the girl bought and the girl hit bronze. Boom. Guys, it's that simple. People are overcomplicating this thing. You don't have to be able to answer every question. You don't have to know everything. Use third-party validation. So you want to have people system dependent, not people dependent. And the thing is that, there's a whole bunch of people in this company that are phenomenal. And you're like, I want to have them on every call. But that's not called real world, not real life. So you want to duplicate. And the beautiful part about it in the duplication process with all the people that you can work with is you can copy, you can take stuff from me, you can take stuff from other leaders, and take bits and pieces from all the people that you resonate with and use what resonates with you and make it you. You basically take the bits and pieces. Like I might say one thing, Lisa might say one thing, Melissa might say one thing, Ricky might say one thing, Brittany might say one thing, Maria might say one thing, Nick, all these people might say things different ways, and you pick little pieces. But the amazing thing about people are funny. So we do these Saturday morning trainings, and somebody on the training might say something that might be off a little bit off what their team is doing system-wise. By the way, the system is all the same, but just little pieces of it might be a little prospecting piece might be different, or a little piece might be different. And people all of a sudden go, oh my gosh, that's it. And like want to change everything they're doing and go, no, guys, if your team is doing one thing that's like working, keep doing that and take little pieces. Like you don't go to college and all of a sudden I'm changing my major. And like every semester change your major because you hear a teacher that said something. You're like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to be a doctor. Oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. No, it doesn't work like that. The system's the same. Take bits and pieces from the people that you resonate with and put it all together. And look at it like school. Like this is my major. This is what we do. But hey, I like what I heard from that person. I'm going to start adding a little bit of that in. Now, this is the beautiful part about it. We have different personality types. We have reds, we have blues, we have greens, we have yellows. If you're yellow trying to copy what a red's doing, it's not going to work. It's not you. So you want to pay attention to your personality style. Also pay attention to the people you're talking to. And pay attention to their body language. Pay attention to the way they're coming across. Again, you have to be interesting to them. Pay attention, and if you see them, their eyes glazing over, shut up. Quit talking about whatever you're talking about, right? So, again, in the beginning of the month, we're consoling our defeats. We're going, and I wanted to go over that and then also tie in like how to be able to pick the right place. And what I can tell y'all, this is the right place, the right leadership, the right, people at corporate, the right everything. This is what we visualized 2.5 years ago. This is the place that any person can win. So I wanted to go into this real quick because we're talking about consoling defeats. Guys, there comes a point, some people in your team might get burnt out, they might get whatever, and you have to be able to help people shift their energy and help them to recognize and recharge. You have to recharge. It's just like anything in relationships. You got to go out on a date every once in a while, right? If you've been together for a long time, hey, you need to go date some. You got to go out and do stuff together, some fun things, and, rekindle your fire. And what I wanted to share that because I'm telling you, I've watched this where people, their fire got dim. And when their fire got dim, so did their business. And then what happens is they start focusing on that. And then what happens is it goes down more, and it goes down more, and it goes down more. And that's what they focus on. That's what they look at. You need to look at where you want to be, not on where you are. Ever. You always want to focus on where you're going, not on where you are. You want to focus on the future, not on the past. The past is done. It's over. Too bad, so sad, it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. Many people want to focus in on their glory days, back when I used to play ball in school or whatever. Guys, that doesn't make you a penny. You got to focus in on what you can do today, period. It's the only thing that you can change is the now. You can't change yesterday, and you can't even change the future because you don't know what's going to happen. What you can change is what you do right this second. The present is what we have, but you can have a vision of the future. And by having the vision of the future is what changes what you do now. It's having that vision, the clarity, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing, who's coming with me, and having that mindset and creating, all right, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, this is what it looks like. And then you have that, and then boom, that's how you're going to move yourself forward in that vision. So I share with you guys, I had to sit and I wasn't clear on exactly what the house was going to look like. I just knew it was going to be on the water. Now that we bought this piece of property, I've already cleared all the trees off of it. Today, I'm over there messing with the machine. And then basically a bulldozer shows up, which means they're about to start hauling dirt in there, and it's about to get filled up with dirt and stuff. And during the weekend, while I was out in the boat, I'm talking to different friends, and as we're passing the waterway, I'm explaining in full detail what the boathouse is going to look like. I'm showing them pictures of, things that we found out there that we're going to basically copy, like, oh, we want the boathouse to look like this, and we're going to have the hot tub right here and the boathouse under here, and then we're going to have, all this stuff. And I'm painting a picture. It's not there. I don't have a survey yet. I don't know exactly what part of the water it's going to be, but I know exactly what it's going to look like. I know exactly, because I have to find out what the code is and where you can do all that stuff. But I do know what it looks like. I do know what I'm visualizing. I do know the way that it makes me feel, and that's what moves me forward. And I'm saying that for you guys because you got to know where you're going. You got to know what that looks like and what it feels like. So, back to recharging with a leader, our goal is to help them to get back in touch with the vision on why they got started to begin with. What was their driver? What motivated them? What had them excited? What turned their, where they could just get fired up about it, right? And guys, as you can get it, it's crazy what happens when you help people to start to recognize that. It's crazy what happens. All of a sudden, I've watched people's businesses that were stagnant, that when they started to get in touch with this, boom, everything just started to change. So with that, I just wanted to share that because it's so important. Now, what do we do in moving forward in starting the month? I would be reaching down into your team and ask, who wants to hit the next rank? Who wants to hit the next rank and who wants my help? So what does that look like? What you're going to do is you're going to get on the phone with these people and you're going to listen to them, make some calls. Or I know we have some people that are doing some social media stuff and all that. And if that's what you're doing, that's great. Yet I highly recommend, if you want to move people into action and they're ready to step things up to the next level, if you can get them to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, oh my gosh, I know this is random, but do you know anybody drinks coffee or tea? Have you heard about the happy coffee everyone's been talking about? Another approach is the apology approach. Apologize. If you've been doing this for more than a couple months, you need to call people up and the first things out of your words like, hey, I just want to call and tell you I'm sorry. And they're going to say, what are you sorry for? That I didn't call you about this sooner and tell you about the happy coffee that everybody's been talking about? Do you know anybody drinks coffee or tea? Well, yeah, of course I do. A friend of mine shared this with me. I was skeptical, but when I took it, this is what happened for me. I should have called you about this sooner. I'm so sorry. Guys, get and help your people, listen to what they're saying, pick up the phone, and just start building the business. Let's help these people get their business to the next level. So ask them, hey, do you want to hit the next rank? Do you want my help? Awesome. And then give them some action steps. If you have some action steps on what you can do on social media in terms of what to post on stories and all that stuff, help them with that. But I'm telling you, if you listen to what they're saying and listen to their energy when they're doing it, I'm telling you, you can shoot your numbers up. Just like at the end of the month, guys, this is a relationship building business. And when you actually hold their hand and walk them through the process and show them that you care enough that you're going to spend that time with them, it's crazy what happens. It's crazy, the love and the whatever. So we jumped on a leader call. It was Melissa Lucas put us on a group of her leaders. And I was like, I thought it was people that we knew. And we get on this call and it's all people that we didn't know. And it was like person after person after person. And Ricky gets on this call and he starts going, all right, if I haven't met you, let's hear a little bit about you. And man, these girls just started, it ended up being like an hour long. All right, let me see if I can get this done. I don't know where that one came from. All right, audio muters. So at any rate, I'm telling you, there was like one side of me where I'm going, man, this is going to take a long time because I don't know any of these people. And now it's the most impactful thing. It was crazy watching these girls light up. So excited, for one, that Ricky cared enough to want to find out about him. That he took the time to basically sit there and get to know these people and then scheduled calls with them all separately so where he can really get to know them and all that. Guys, that stuff is what builds this business. That stuff is what the meat and potatoes is. And we think talking about systems and talking about this and talking about that is what it is. And you might have this fancy way, check out the strategy. Guys, when you get to know people and find out what they're about, show them that you care. We've been talking all about the 6 basic human needs and we're talking about all this stuff. Guys, this is what builds the business. We're building a family. We're not building, I know more about so many people in the team and their childhoods and what drives them, their passions and all this stuff. And unfortunately, you can't get to know every single person on the team, but over time, you can get to know a lot of people. And if you're doing that with people, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do the same thing with their people. And then they're going to do the same thing with their people. And that's how you create the synergy. That's how you create true, long-lasting relationships, not the whole, look at my house, look at my car, look at me, look at my life, I'm wonderful, I'm great, the intergalactic, whatever rank. Nobody cares about that. Because when you start learning, it's so funny when this dude digs down and he starts seeing where volume's coming through and he starts reaching out to him. And then he puts me on the phone. He goes, you got to hear this person's story. And then he'll put me on the phone with these people. And then they'll share. See, guys, it's not only what drives a leader and what they went through, but if you can tap in to what your team has gone through in the past and how that could be the driving force to bring their life to the next level, guys, that's where the gold is. That is where the gold is, in building these relationships and getting to know people and knowing what drives them, knowing what's important to them, knowing why they're doing this and showing them that you care about them. I'm telling you, this call was crazy. And these people thought it was the most amazing thing in the world that someone, especially when you build people up and at Triple Crown, guys, you got to realize that they're making a lot of money. And the fact that they're spending an hour plus and then getting on the phone, knowing them and all that, those people look at it like, and honestly, every single one of us, I don't care what rank somebody is, they're no better than you. I just want to let you know that up front. And we talk about it and it's crazy and people will go, I just felt uncomfortable calling. Like people look at leaders like they're a rock star, they're like the president or whatever, the king of England. Like people look at people different. They're no different than you. They're no different than you. They're no better than you. They've just gone through the things before you have. That's all. And the thing is that when you start looking at all these people like that, it's life-changing. And the funniest part is like, especially when we have events, because for so long we haven't, like I have no idea what rank people are. I hang out with all kinds of people, find out they're new. We're hanging out with them. There's no cool dude club. There's no, here's where all the ambassadors hang out, and this is where all the diamonds hang out, and this is where, no. Guys, you have to create an environment where everyone feels like they're part of something. And I have no idea what rank people are, and I don't want to know what rank people are because I want to look at the people for who they are. And that's what we in our team, and I know the other organizations are phenomenal and they're amazing and they're doing many of the same things. I'm just sharing you our experience of what we've done to create this collective. I mean, some of my best friends are all in this company. And it's amazing. So guys, I know we covered a lot of different stuff tonight, but I really wanted to get just the point across that, one, you're in the right place at the right time. There is no such thing as a shortcut. There is no, when you want to look at in terms of a company on where you'd want to be, things you need to know: high impact product, instant results, affordable to where people can afford it and they would buy it even if there wasn't a business model behind it, which we know that because we have a huge customer base. Number 3, can your new people, could you recruit a horseshoer and teach them what you did 5 minutes after they did it? Can you recruit a busboy? Can you recruit a single mom that, whatever their background is, it doesn't matter. They can still win in this model. Guys, we have that place. And do they have solid leadership with people that care about where they're going? And guys, we do. And I'm talking about from the top up, from the corporate side with Keith Halls and Garrett and Sylvia and, Tony and David Litt and all these people. They are here for you guys. So we have an incredible leadership team. And then we have an incredible leadership team with all the Triple Crowns and ambassadors and all the other ranks that are here. There is an absolute amazing leadership team to where there is no reason that not one of you all, there's no other reason why you can't make it. The only variable is you. The only person that you're competing against is the person in the mirror. The only person that can keep you having success is the person in the mirror. There is no other reason on why you can't have everything that you desire in our company if you just plug in. So with that being said, I think I've ranted enough. Just want to tell you guys that I love and appreciate you all. Appreciate you all jumping on these Zooms. Again, it is your mindset that drives everything in your business. And if you're not where you want to be, it's time to have a checkup from the neck up. It's time to ask yourself the question, what is my belief system? What do I believe? What am I telling myself? And why? You know, I would say ask yourself an empowering question versus disempowering question. How do I take my business to the next level? Not why aren't I winning? Why isn't this? Why isn't that? Guys, if you ask stupid questions, you're going to get stupid answers. You say, why isn't it? You're going to get, because I'm not good enough, or because the story will be like, you're not good enough, because you're not valued, because maybe you need to do something else. Maybe this isn't the right place. Maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe whatever. But ask the question, how do I do this? How do I take my business to the next level? How do I do this? How do I do that? And there's leaders that you could reach out to that can help you get that answer. Love you guys. Everybody have a great night. I hope you got value. Take care, guys.
Fire. So good.
Thank you, Chris. We love you.
Bye.
Thank you, Chris. That was awesome.
Chris. Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Chris, you're awesome.